Okay, today I'm talking about the recovery belly that I would say almost every single one of my clients has experienced who's in proper recovery. The recovery belly, let's just talk about it for a minute. It's pretty intense, right? It's really uncomfortable. Physically, mentally, emotionally, it's pretty crappy. And I feel like it's something you can't really come away from unscathed. Like, I don't know if you can actually properly go into full recovery, eating unrestrictedly, eating all that food and not having your belly stick out immensely. Like, where on earth would the food go for a while, right? It's gotta go somewhere, and it's gonna feel like you're pregnant at times. I remember my younger daughter would sit on my lap and just poke at it and be like, "Are you pregnant, mommy?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." I'd be dying inside, but I had to just be like, No, I'm not pregnant. Just lots of food in there, and have to pretend like it didn't bother me because I didn't want her to feel like it was a bad thing, even though I was working through it in my head, trying to make it not feel like a bad thing. But yeah, every client will always bring that up at some point, and it's pretty debilitating if you let it be. It can really derail you from your commitment to recovery because it feels like a good reason to stop, right? It's like, surely this can't be okay. Surely this stomach sticking out this much couldn't possibly be normal. Nobody's stomach is this big. See, I see people on Instagram and they do not look like me. They do not have that recovery belly. And it's like, well, first of all, why are you comparing yourself to anyone, especially people on Instagram, and especially people who are posting pictures of their belly when they're in recovery on Instagram? That just seems really bizarre to me, because if you're actively, truly trying to recover and you're really committed to recovering, why on earth would you be taking pictures of your stomach and posting them for other people to compare themselves to? It seems really destructive to me. And so those are, one, please don't follow that if it's triggering for you, which I'm almost positive it will be. But two, you have no idea what they're actually doing. You don't know if they're actually recovering or not. And so that comparison, well, so-and-so is in recovery and their belly doesn't look like mine. Drop it, stop. That's just a stupid little excuse that you use to keep yourself from going on in recovery. But what I really want to talk about is how I react to that when a client will talk to me about that. And I listen and I want to validate it, because I'm not going to pretend like it's not a big deal. I'm not going to pretend, at least that it doesn't feel like a big deal, because it did to me. It felt like my world was ending. It felt like earth shattering to me. It felt like I was good for nothing because I had this huge belly. And when I listen to it, I have to put myself back in at that time in recovery. I can't be, insensitive to that. I have to listen to that and have to understand that was hard and hear them. But then I also have to remind them, or at least try to help them see down the road. Can you just look at this big picture for a minute? And trust that in a year's time or more maybe, when you're fully recovered, you're going to look back at this time and be so glad that you decided to keep going. Because the things that you gain in recovery and the way in which you're going to feel like you're living again isn't going to even compare. It's not even going to come close to what you felt like you had to give up when you're in recovery. This idea of having a flat stomach, or a lean tummy, or whatever you want to call it. It's not even going to feel like a sacrifice down the road, because it's like, really, I can't even believe that I was going to let that stop me. But it did. It came close. I came close a few times in recovery to being like, I can't go on because I cannot cope with this. And so I guess my point is, I'm just so glad that I decided to keep going. Whether your belly goes down or not, when you get your brain back, you won't be willing to sacrifice anything ever again. You will protect that with everything. Whether that means you look 9 months pregnant for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying that you're going to, but sometimes maybe that does happen for people. I don't know, right? I don't know. Usually I don't see my clients from here down. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just focusing on their mind. But what happens is, when their mind gets in a more healthy place and they're starting to get their life back, we start talking less about the belly because they're starting to focus on other things. And so my advice to you is, if you're really struggling with that right now, please try to zoom out. I know I say that a lot, but please try to zoom out. Look at the big picture. Think of your future self a year, 2 years down the road. And I'm not saying think of when your belly goes down 2 years down the road. I'm talking about think about where your brain might be in 2 years, how you might feel a little bit differently about your belly. And the lack of thoughts you'll probably have around it throughout the day. Because I promise you, it's going to be a lot less than you have now when you're in the thick of recovery. So that's my message to you today. Maybe we should start like a recovery belly club for those of you who are in it right now. I'm more than happy, and I do talk to my clients about it. Like, it's okay, you can talk about it. Let's not pretend like it's not there. But dwelling on it and letting it stop you is problematic. And if you let it, it'll become a big, huge excuse for you relapsing or going backwards. Instead, just like laugh about it. I mean, I know it sounds probably not that funny if you're in the middle of it, but try to just like, most of you have your head screwed on straight. Most of you know that there's more to life than your stomach. Most of you hopefully have other things that you can try to focus on, but you got to kind of force it at first. Like, okay, I'm really going to shift my focus to something else other than that. I'm not going to obsess over this anymore. And just kind of understand that there's more to you than that. There really is. And know that you're not alone in it, and know that everyone who goes through full and like a proper recovery is going to experience that. So you're not like the one person recovery is not working for. In fact, it's the opposite. Recovery seems to be working for you if you are really, really allowing yourself to just embrace that and feel scared, but do it anyways. That means your brain's changing. You're overcoming that fear of weight gain. So with that, have a good day. Bye.